hi YouTube. I didn't see you there. Welcome back, guys, to the painting of the Nerf Hammershot. Yeah, Hammershot. That's the name of this thing. Yeah, so I apologize that I have been gone for so very long, but I've just had a lot going on in my personal life. I haven't been able to really focus on painting or all these other projects. So please do forgive me. But today, it's time. We're just going to finish this thing today. So I'm going to try and get this, I guess, off to the side where it's not so intrusive. But yeah, basically what we're going to do here is we have pretty much, the hammershot is pretty much done. I just put a coat or 2 or 3 or 4 of white over the wrapping here, and I'm going to add another coat before it's finished. But what we're going to do is we're going to put some wood, some browns on the wood texture here, and just make that pop out a little bit more, and then we'll kind of give this a little wash just to age it a little bit. I have the other half pretty much all done over here. I may go a little darker on the wash, but I think if I do too much, it's gonna start looking terrible. But the wood came out pretty decently, I think. And once that's all dry, we're gonna put it back together. So first things first, I'm gonna get my brown out for the base of the handle here. And I know somebody wanted to know exactly what colors I was using, and for the brown, I'm just using a raw sienna for the base coat of the brown. We're just gonna shake it up, give it a good. Oh, there we go. Probably too much, but whatever. I'm just gonna use a small, not terribly large, kind of softish brush, just to do that. Dip it a little bit and just kind of start doing the edges of this thing. All right. Basically, I just want to outline it first so I can just kind of make it a little easier for myself to not go off the sides and color outside the lines, as it were. But yeah, I'm going to also try and stay with the grain as much as possible, just so the paint doesn't fill in the texture detailing, and once it dries, the texture will really stick out nicely, and you'll still have that nice wood grain on the handle. And then when you add the other colors on top, they'll kind of stick into the grain and really bring it out pretty nicely. So just like that, nothing crazy, just light. I'm going to do 2 coats, so it's okay if this one's kind of bleeding through a little bit. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just getting this. I'll just get a little dab here. I just want to get right along the inside, just edge it out. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just do the rest of this. I'll probably just speed up the video, so I'll see you guys in just a minute. Okay guys, so we have our first coat on here, and I'm going to go ahead and pause the video so that I can let this dry, and then I will probably just put a second coat on off camera, and once that's all ready to go, we'll come back and start doing the other detailing. So I will see you guys in just a moment. Alright guys, so now that we have this thing, you know, I did 2 coats of the brown and I did another coat of the white over it. And for the white, I'm just using, you can really use anything as long as it's just white. I'm just using acrylic. This one's winter white, but it really doesn't make a difference. It just happened to be the one that I had on hand. Now, for the other browns, I'm using what's this? Another raw umber. Well, this one's raw sienna. This one's raw umber. It's quite a bit darker. As you can see, little poot right there. This one dried up because I was using it for the other one. But I'm just gonna basically get this little bit dry brush situation going on here, and just kind of go very lightly, just adding a little bit here and there. It doesn't have to be crazy. I'm not putting a whole coat of this stuff on. I'm just trying to kind of add just a little bit of this color, just sort of in the cracks of the grain and things like that. Just kind of make it look like there's a little bit more to the wood here. I'll just do a little bit on the bottom as well. I'm just going to take my little rag and just kind of get the excess paint off here. Because like I said, I just want to add a little bit of a color pattern. I don't want to add a whole bunch of stuff to it. Just a little bit on the edges, just to darken up the edges a little bit here. Alright, so there is that. I'm going to use my handy Pikachu water glass and just dry it off on a paper towel or a napkin or something. And then here for the other color, this one dried up as well. I'm using a honey brown. Again, I'm just using acrylics. Really nothing crazy here. And again, we're just going to go, and this one's a lot lighter, so you want to be extra conservative with this one. You don't want to get too crazy, because it'll really show up with just a little bit, you know? So you just want to kind of add a little bit here and there. I'm just kind of like running the brush lightly sideways over the grain, just to let that let the lighter color kind of highlight the peaks of the grain. And then on the bottom you just kind of whatever, it doesn't have to look great down there because no one's gonna look there. But yeah, so I think this is pretty decent. We'll just scritch it up a little bit now that the most of the paint is off the brush. I'll just add a little bit of that. Get a little towards the underside here, towards the middle. Yeah, and that should pretty much do it for the handle itself. Now for the wrapping, what I've done is I did a little bit of the honey brown again. I'm going to take a wider brush here. It's still very soft, And I'm just gonna really, really water this paint down. So it's more, until it's more water than pigment. So you just want to like drag it across. And basically once you get that going, just a little bit of color, just brush it across and just let the pigment from the paint just kind of naturally roll into the molding of the wrapping. Just let it kind of sink into all the edges, and you can even take the edge of your brush and just kind of, you know, run it along. If you want to make it a little darker, but don't make it too dark. I'll make sure to go in there afterwards and lighten that up. It's like that. And then be careful, because it'll have a tendency to run all over the place because it is water, and you just dab it away with your paper towel or your napkin or whatever you've got on hand. Also, also just keep in mind that it'll have a tendency to kind of bead up along the edges here, just like this. So you just want to come along and get the excess off as well. So once you've got that done and you're kind of happy with it, you're just gonna let it dry. There we go. I think that looks pretty decent. Just gonna get some of the edges off. Yeah. So we'll just put that to the side and let it dry, and then when we come back, I'm gonna add a little bit more to this side actually while I'm at it. And I'm gonna pause the video again, and then we'll come back and put this thing all together and check it out as one solid unit once more. So stick around for just a second, and I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, so we have all of our pieces ready to go, painted up, and they look pretty good. So let's put this whole thing back together, and to do that we're going to start on this side. I've already popped this bit back in, the little metal clip, and we're gonna go ahead and put this guy back in, the tactical rail clip piece, and that just goes on the little short spring. It just pops right back in there, and hopefully it'll stay. It'll probably pop out about 1,000,000 times while I'm doing this, but that's alright. Next up, we want to take the internals, and I've gone ahead and just popped the trigger and the hammer back in there, and as you can see, everything fits nice. And we just want to pop this all back in here. So we're just going to put it all down, just like so, and it fits like a glove, as well it should. We're going to take our chamber and just make sure we get that fitted on properly, and then just seat it like so. Actually, I'm not sure. Does it go? Nope, I got that backwards. This little bit is keyed up in the front, so this side has to be down. So just slide it over that piece, and then it's keyed so it just slides in just like that. Next, we're just going to take the other half and get it all down and pressed together just like so, and you can see this is what our Hammershot looks like now. So I think it came out pretty nice. So we're just going to get this all screwed back together. Here are our screws. So we'll start. Go. Now, for those of you that want to like use your Nerf guns as Nerf guns after you're done painting all this stuff, I'm gonna suggest that maybe you consider spraying your gun after you're done painting it with like a clear coat, just because your hands and things are gonna have a tendency, with a lot of use, you're gonna rub off the paint on the handle and the trigger and all that. I didn't coat mine because I use them, I fire them, but mostly they're just for display, and I don't handle them so much that the paint rubs off usually. I have not had a problem with that. So if you're going to be using your Nerf gun a lot, you may just want to consider clear coat. That's all. That's all. So I know this took me forever to get the videos up, but as you can see, the actual process is not that long, not that complicated, and you can get a nice looking weapon with relatively easily. Not a whole heck of a lot of time and effort put into it. It's really just a little patience. That's all it takes. How very exciting. I know, watching me put screws into this thing. Now, for anyone wondering why I chose the colors that I did, I may have mentioned this before, I don't remember, but I don't know, I just like this color scheme. I like the black with the copper. I think it's a cool look. It pleases me aesthetically, and that's why I chose it. No other reason. You guys can choose whatever color you like, and I definitely encourage you to get an inexpensive Nerf blaster and try out some different colors. Experiment, see what works with you, see what you like, because there's no wrong answer here, guys. It's your stuff, and you should customize it to whatever specifications you find most attractive. So that's really the long and the short of it right there. But I think we are about ready to test this puppy out. So we've got our darts over here. There we go. I'll load it up. So everything should be still working just fine, and we're going to go ahead and test it. Yep, that works, and bam, fires just fine. So all the internals are still intact, and you've got a fully functioning, brandy spanking new looking Nerf blaster. So thank you very much, guys, for watching and coming along with me as we painted up this Hammershot. It's an awesome Nerf gun, so I highly recommend it to begin with. But I think it looks pretty cool once it's all painted up, so definitely give it a shot. I think it'll be worth your while. It's a fun project to do. It doesn't take terribly long, and it's nice and therapeutic. So thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Again, I apologize about how long it took me to finish this series, but I hope you guys thought it was worth it in the end, and hopefully I'll be able to start a new project pretty soon. So in the meantime, thanks again for watching. Give me a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.